Alright, Hazemig here, and I'm shooting a video for the Victory Empulse TT on how to refill your coolant in the bike. Okay, I'll probably make a separate video on how to drain and refill it, because that's one of the kind of maintenance things that you got to do on this bike. It's not too difficult, but basically this is just like the second half of the drain and refill. I'm just going to do the refill today. The reason I'm just wanting to check the level and refill the bike is because my bike has sprung a little leak. So my bike has been leaking from like where kind of the jacket is right here underneath there. Run my finger there. It's probably wet. I don't know. No, it's pretty big. It's pretty dry. Okay, so yeah, the purpose of this video is to show you how to refill or check the level on the coolant on the Empulse TT. So here I've got the Brammo and Victory Empulse service manual pages printed out for draining and refilling. I kind of like the Brammo one better because they have actual pictures as opposed to diagrams. Interesting thing to note is so I think this should be the same for both Empulses, the Victory and the Brammo Empulses. I think I'm pretty sure the cooling system is very similar, except for the location, the relay. Okay, so I think I kind of went through the manual, and I think the difference between the Brammo and the Victory is the location of the fuse block. The fuse block is like on the side of the bike here, and then on this one, the fuse block is on the top of the bike. Okay. At least I think it is. That's what it looks like it is. So, yeah. So, anyway, we'll figure it out when we remove the body panels. The instructions are not like the best. Okay, I'll tell you that. So the first thing that I've done is I put the bike on a rear stand, so the bike is level. That's what you're going to want to do first. So that's like the first step, and then the second step, or the first step in the thing is so we got to get to the expansion cap. So that's actually the first part of the maintenance is the expansion cap. And that's probably pretty much all we need to do, really just take that cap out and see what, how much coolant is in there. And the Brammo manual doesn't tell you how to take it out. It's kind of like, it doesn't actually. That's a good question. Okay, well, that's interesting. Yeah, it actually doesn't tell you how to take it out. That's interesting. Okay. Well, anyway, that's why that's why I printed out both of them, so we can both look at them. So one of the things we're going to have to do is get to the expansion cap. So part of the drain and refill process, you've got to take the upper front and remove the coolant expansion cap. So to get to the expansion cap, you got to take the front body panel off. Okay. And I think the front body panel is this. I think it's this one, or this one. No, it's this one right here. I think to do that, you got to take the lower one out, so the belly pan. Okay, you got to remove the upper and the front body panel. Okay, so that's what we're going to do first. Okay, so to remove the front body panel, you've got to remove the lower body panel first. So I'll show you how to do that real quick. Okay, so to remove the lower body panel, there's 4 screws. There's one in the front here, and then there's one underneath, and then on the corresponding side there's 2 more. So I'm using a T25 Torx also for this. So the Empulse uses these weird bolt sizes and stuff. So okay, so when you take one of the screws out, there's a little kind of rubber washer that goes with it, so make sure you don't lose that. I probably shouldn't have removed it all the way too. So, there's another one right down here. Okay, here we are on the other side. Take off those corresponding bolts, screws, other side. Careful, it may just suddenly fall too. Okay, so there's also a spacer, and I think I lost it on the other side. Okay. So there is this spacer here that's gone the back of the front cover there, so make sure you don't lose that. Okay, and I'm going to kind of support it for this last screw, so it doesn't just come crashing down. Cover should come off. Oh, there's a bunch of stuff in there. This is a good opportunity to clean it out. Okay. Okay, I've removed the lower cover. So what came out are these two screws, one in the back, one in the front, or one is like kind of like underneath, sort of. And then there's this spacer. The spacer goes actually behind this panel right here. That's the front panel. So, so if we go to the other side of the bike, it should have one, right? Oh yeah, okay. This one is still here. So let me take that out before we lose it. So, all right. So on both sides, that's what you should have 4 screws with rubber washers, and then these 2 spacers that go behind this front part here. Okay. Okay. And so we got the lower cover off. So now we can take the front cover off. This is the front cover right here. Okay. So now that we've removed the front, I don't know, this is like the lower cover or something, or the side, lower side cover, or the belly pan is what you would call it. This is what it looks like, by the way. It's kind of cool looking. Never actually taken it out of the bike, but you can see it's pretty dirty. A bunch of crap gets stuck in there, so I guess this is a good opportunity to wash it. And you can get a good look at the bottom of the bike, but let's finish taking it apart. Okay, so to take the front cover off, this black plastic piece here with the holes and stuff here, we've got to remove these screws right here, okay, on the front. So we've already removed these back ones, so all we have to do is remove this right here. Okay. Okay. So we're gonna go take our Torx screw and remove that screw. Boy, there's not a lot of room to work with anymore. My suggestion is use the screwdriver. Oh, this might be a different size. Oh, no. Okay. Kind of got it. Okay. This is kind of like the wrong size. It's too long, so I'm just gonna take the bit out. I really should invest in like a screwdriver set or something. Okay, that's one screw out. Let's go to the other side. So for whatever reason, this one is easier to get to. It's easier to find. So I'm just going to use a screwdriver to loosen it. Probably want to hold on to this. Okay. Very carefully pull it out. Okay, there it is. It's free. Make sure you secure that bolt somewhere. So there's the front panel right there. Okay. Okay, so here we are. So this is you've taken the lower panel off, and then we've taken the front panel, body panel off. So now we have access to the radiator cap, sort of, kind of. There's all these freaking wires in the way here, man. I don't know how they expect you to get to. Look at this thing. It's got like a plug at the end of it. There's a lot of rubbish going on here. But I'm thinking, boy, you're probably going to want to unbolt this. It doesn't say anything about unbolting this in the manual, but it's like I don't see any way to refill this thing unless you take this out and you move it that away. Here, let's take a look at it from the other side. But it's like buried in there. It's like literally almost inside the frame. Also, before I start fiddling around with the cooling system, I put some drip pans under the bike just in case something drips. Okay, so yeah, right here. So here's that safety plug here. that's like way in the way. So as you can see, I think the best thing to do is just unbolt it. So unbolt it from here and here, okay? We're not going to be messing with the electrical system at all, so just, you know, we don't have to disconnect anything, I think. All right. Anyway, so the next step is to take the upper body panels off because we have to get to the fuse, okay? Now, if you're just... I'm not too sure if you can just, you know, just unbolt that and then just refill it, you know. I don't know if it's low or anything. I just want to check the level and then add some water if it's kind of low, you know. That's all I'm wanting to do right now. But I'll go through like cycling. It's almost like doing a Toyota Prius. I've changed the coolant on a Toyota Prius and it's very similar to this. So I'll show you when we take it apart. So we got to take this cover off right here. So to do that, I think we got to take the seat off. Okay, so I'm going to kind of skip around a little bit here. I'm just going to check the coolant level. I wish there was a way to check this coolant level without having to take all this stuff off. It's kind of annoying, but all right. So what we're going to do is we're going to unbolt the expansion cap is what it's called right here. So the expansion cap goes to the top of the radiator. Okay. So whatever the level in the radiator's thing, you know. So it looks like there are two Allen bolts in there. All right. So I think it's like a 5mm. That's what it is. So I'm gonna go ahead and unbolt this. This is just the bracket that keeps it secure. I don't know how they expect you to refill this thing if it's back here, you know. It's not the most convenient of designs, I'll give it that. Got 2 screws out, so the cap should be free. Hopefully we can just kind of... there's like an overflow thing right here. But there's no overflow bottle. It's a funny thing. I think we're going to move it out here. This hose is keeping it from thing. So annoying. Okay, let's just pull it over. Okay, that should be good. We should be able to fill it from here. Okay. All right, so let's go check the coolant level first before we do anything else. So that's where it is, and I kind of just peeled it out over here. Hopefully this doesn't explode coolant all over the place when I open it. So I want to come out. Oh, you gotta press down and then turn it a little more. Okay. Okay. It looks pretty dry. It looks like there's like nothing in there. But here's the cap. Okay. Move slowly. Made in Mexico. It's a Stanley cap, by the way. I think it has an S right here. Okay. So there is the thingy right there. And it looks like it's empty, okay? So I'm thinking we're probably going to want to bleed it and everything. So, alright, so before we start refilling it, we'll take the upper body panel off, okay? So it looks pretty dry. There's like nothing in there. Yeah, I don't see anything in there. But it's an expansion cap, okay? So what we're going to wind up doing is we're going to refill it as per the manual, and then we're going to bleed the system, okay? And you do that with the water pump. All right. So what we got to do next is remove the seat. So mine has this fancy seat cover, so I'm going to go ahead and remove that. Okay. So mine has all these kind of different accessories on it that your Impulse probably doesn't have. I'm going to remove the seat cover. Probably won't need this when I go to the racetrack anyways. So. Okay, now we're going to want to... I took the trunk off already too. They don't sell trunks for impulses, so I imagine there's not too many out there, people impulses that have them. This is a custom made trunk. Okay, to remove the seat, you gotta go remove this bolt right here. Okay, there's a bunch of bolts, but there's like one that's kind of like in the center of everything. I believe that's the one for the seat. Okay. All right, so with that removed, you should be able to lift the seat off. Okay, set that someplace safe. Okay, so now we can remove the upper body panels. Marvel at what's underneath the seat. It's a big charger. Okay, I got a handy dandy driver tool. So to remove the upper body panel, you've got to take these bolts out. This one here, and this one here. And I think there might be one underneath. It's been a while since I've taken this out. I've taken it out before, but it was a while ago. Take out this one over here. And there should be another one on the other side. I'm just going to go. So this back cover should come off now. Okay. Okay, so we got two more to take out. So there's one here and one on the other side of this, okay? And make sure you're taking the little rubber washers out with it too. Kind of annoying, my bit or the socket kind of touches the body panel. But okay, so that should lift out now. Okay, so now we got access to the fuse. This is what's the important part. That's why we have to take all this so we can get to the fuse. It's really annoying trying to get to anything in this bike. Okay. All right, so let's open the fuse box up. So you can see it's right there in the front of the bike. I'm not sure if on the Brammos that it's over there. I think on the Brammo it's like somewhere here on the side. It's in this area here, but on the Victories it's on the very front right here. Okay, and then like it's in the front of the upper battery right here. Okay. Okay, so there's 4 tabs you got to pull up on. I know my hands are in the way, but might help if you use a screwdriver. I know, like poking metal, using metal, moving metal objects around these high voltage wires. Oh, there you go. Okay. So once you get the top ones off, you can kind of finagle the ones off the bottom. Oh my God, it is so tight in here. I just cram everything in here. Okay, so this is the fuse box cover right there. Okay. So here, so there's a relay here. We're looking for one relay. Okay, so when we get there, we'll I'll show you what to do. But like that was the reason we took all the body panels off, was so we can get to that relay over there. Okay. All right. So we're gonna go ahead and start filling the cooling system up. Okay, so we removed the upper body panel, the front body panel, and the coolant expansion cap. Okay, and then to drain it, you got to remove one of the hose clamps where the coolant pump is. Where's the coolant pump? That's a good question. Okay, so for future reference, if you would want to drain the coolant off your bike, you would do it by taking this hose off right here, okay? This one. The one that comes out like this, kind of like turbo. It's a water pump, but it looks like a turbo to me. Basically, that's what a turbo is. It's an air pump. Yeah, you would undo this one. You would take this out and then let all the coolant just explode out, because where that actually goes is the lower radiator, the bottom part of the radiator. So all the coolant would just puke out of there, pretty much. Okay, so I don't know how to undo. I don't know how to work with these clamps. These are some weird kind of clamps. When you do take this out, or when I do take this out, I'm going to replace it with like a regular worm gear kind of clamp. Okay, the more common clamp. That's what I'm going to say. Okay, but we're not going to mess with that today. I'm not my purpose of doing this video is to fill up the coolant. Okay, so since we didn't drain the coolant, we're going to skip to the next part. Installation is the reverse of the removal procedure, except for additional coolant filling procedures. Okay, so after you put the hose and the clamp back in, remove the cooling system vent cap bolt. Okay, so that's the bolt number 1 right there. So we're going to want to remove this bolt right here. Okay, I think it's I don't know, it's like a 4 mil. Okay, it's a 5 millimeter. I would use T-handle. Okay, I got my T-handle here. Let's take this cap, this vent cap, that's what it's called. Coolant may come out of it, so be careful. Oh, a little bit of coolant came out. It's a green coolant. So I don't know, I was thinking of putting Prestone in mine, but it looks like it's full. Okay, so yeah, that's what it looks like. It's full because I see coolant on the top. So maybe we don't really need to put coolant in there. But okay, so we moved the cap. There's what the cap looks like. Put that someplace safe. Okay, so we're here on step 3. It's slowly fill the cooling system with coolant from the radiator cap until you see coolant escaping from the vent cap hole. Okay, and then you reinstall the vent hole cap bolt and torque to specification. Okay, so I've got a funnel here. This is what I'm going to use to get the coolant in there. I don't know how they expect you to get the coolant when it's up in there, you know. Yeah, so okay, so here's what we're going to do. We're going to take the cap off. We're going to put the funnel in there. I got to make sure and clean this a little bit. And I'm going to pour some distilled water in there, okay? So make sure it's, if you're just going to put water in there, make sure it's distilled water, okay? Ideally, you should probably be putting 50-50 coolant in there, but it's okay if we're just topping off with water. But make sure it's distilled water, because it's got to be, you know, super clean. Okay, so yeah, we're going to go fill this up. And then when water starts to seep out of there, and then we'll put the bolt back in, the plug, and then that's pretty much, and then that's kind of it. We're almost done. All right. Okay, so I've gone ahead and rinsed my funnel out. I'm gonna go ahead and take the radiator cap off again. Oh, it's really hard to. We gotta press down on it hard. Okay. Okay. Bone dry in there, so I'm thinking we gotta add some coolant. I'm gonna go ahead and put our thingy into there. Or looks like I'm just gonna have to hold it. I can't. Yeah. If you got some kind of like hose or some kind of pouring dealy, like a bottle with one of those little squirters on it, that would probably come in handy. I'm just gonna go ahead and pour it in like this. Okay. Alright, I'm gonna pour it, and then we're gonna watch. I'm gonna watch the plug over there. Okay, I'll let you know if I see anything come out. Oh, yeah, it's already. Looks like it's already leaking. Okay, it's leaking. It's leaking. I think it's full. There's nothing wrong with it. I think there's a bunch of coolant coming out of my bike now. Okay, so that should mean we should go put the plug back in. Okay. I don't think that we have to. Okay, so plug's back in. Make sure the little gasket's on it. So it did have coolant in it, so I just forced a bunch of coolant out of it. Okay, so the next step is to put the bolt back in and torque it. So the torque is 88 inch-pounds or 10 Newton meters. Okay, so I already have my torque wrench all set up for it. Okay, that's it. It's pretty close. Okay, and then what's the next step?